It's time for a weekly recap. This is a new segment that I'm trying that will be just like my weekly weigh-ins that I've had before, but a little bit more in-depth with how my training is going, how my diet's going, what I'm eating, what I'm doing, and just how my week has been overall. And it will give you guys a little bit more in-depth view of my journey and how I'm doing as a whole, as I continue. Let's start off with the weight, though. Last week I was 291 pounds, and this week I'm 298.8 pounds. The biggest change I've had this week is I swapped out my normal oats, and I introduced instead cream of rice. It may not seem like much of a change, but it's one of the changes my coach Simon has suggested I make. There are a handful of other changes that we're making as well, introducing higher carb days, lower carb days, just to see how that affects my weight as time goes on. Another change that I made that I was reluctant to make was swapping out my Real Good brand chicken strips for just regular grilled chicken. I've been eating Real Good chicken basically the past year and 3 months, so letting that go is going to be difficult. Aside from that, there's not really any other changes with the diet going on right now, but I will keep you posted. Moving on to training, I want to share with you guys a little bit more about what I'm doing, how much weight I'm moving, if anything felt good this week, if I hurt this week at all. This week hasn't been too bad. I've been dialing it back on the weight a little bit. I went pretty heavy for 3-4 weeks in a row, so I'm taking a deload week and just like taking it 60-70% of what I would normally do. You may remember about 2 months ago, maybe a month ago, I hurt my shoulder on a botched shoulder press, and that sucked, but basically back to normal now. There's no pain. I occasionally get a little bit of an ache if I move it in a certain position, just in everyday movement, but with exercises, I don't have any pain whatsoever anymore. So that's awesome. Aside from that, that's basically how training was this week. If you have any questions about my routine, the exercises that I do, the weight that I move, drop them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them if I can. Moving on to today's themed segment, and it is June, so that is Men's Mental Health Month, and I don't talk about my mental health much at all, and it's not because I'm scared to or ashamed to talk about it, I just don't. Maybe I don't know how to bring it up exactly, just I don't feel compelled to talk about my own issues, my own problems, which is something I feel a lot of men can relate to. We don't feel that we should speak about what we're going through or any type of problems we have, which is why it's so important to do right now. And something that I personally struggle with is depression. And now, for me, it is not an overwhelming sadness, and I'm not the type to shut myself away. For me, it's more of an apathy, and I will ignore responsibilities or just put things off. I won't clean as well as I need to. Sometimes I just won't clean at all, and things will just pile up to a point where when I do feel well enough to get back to cleaning again, it's just so overwhelming that I don't want to deal with it, or I can't mentally handle it, and that just adds fire to the flames, makes it even worse. It's almost like a snowball effect, and that mess is there because I was doing so poorly mentally, and then I start doing worse mentally because that mess is there, and it's just out of control sometimes. And I'm about to show you an example with my garage. A lot of you know that I used to film some stuff out in my garage, and I would move junk out there, or if I cleaned up some of the rest of the house, I would move things out there. And it just got so overwhelmingly messy, and then it kept growing and growing, and it's a point where And it's at a point where I feel so overwhelmed by it, I don't know where to start. And so I just keep putting it off. And it sucks because one of the things I wanted to do was turn the garage into a home gym. But it's just so much stuff in there that it's going to take a lot longer than I had planned before I can start moving on that at all. So I will also try to provide either weekly updates on that or updates as I get it cleaned out. And I think that's all I've got for this week's recap. If there's any suggestions that you have for a theme for next week, or any questions that you want to know about my diet, my training, how I'm doing personally, drop them in the comments below. I'll try to get to them if I can. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey, this is a certified major moment. Be sure to like, subscribe, and then hit that smash.
Moving on to training. I want to let you guys know everything that I'm doing. And scene.